I keep having a question go through my mind, and it's been going through my mind for a long time, especially within the last year, but today I've just been thinking and reflecting on the state of the world, or everything. And my question is, when will people start caring? I grew up in a small town and in northern Michigan, and I went to school for many years, and then I came back, and I live here again. And it'll always be home to me. My family's here. My closest friends are mostly here. It's a beautiful place. But the mentality, the collective mentality of the people that live here isn't always such a beautiful thing. And over the past year since the election, I really feel like people have been given license and permission to exercise hate, to ostracize and marginalize people. And the other day I was simply at the store and I overheard people talking about how transgender people shouldn't be in the military, how they shouldn't even exist. And I've heard the same thing said about the rest of the LGBTQ community. In this town, I've heard it said about people of other races. And it really pains me to even admit that I hear this in my hometown, because my hometown is home. And I really do believe that this mentality in my small town here is just a snapshot of a bigger mentality that seems to be an undercurrent in America right now. And it's because of lack of education. Because hate is always a learned experience. And maybe it's because nobody in this town has a personal connection or has been actively marginalized like myself and a lot of other people I know. For example, one of my best friends is in the military, is transgender, and is pregnant. One of my best friend, my childhood best friend actually. And I live every day in fear of his life and his well-being, because with the way things are going right now, he could easily not have a career. All because of his identity, and that boggles my mind. I really want to believe that people are good. But people will not be good unless they're given an example to look toward. And that's why I'm always saying that education is so important, and it starts at home with parents, with family, with friends, socialization in schools. If people are taught to hate, that's what they're gonna do. And I hope that one day my hometown decides to stop living in its own bubble, where it doesn't acknowledge anything else that's happening in the world, or anything outside of Trump's idea of America. Because there are a lot of people hurting, and there are a lot of people who are being silenced. It doesn't make me sad anymore, honestly, because I'm so used to it, which I guess might be sad in of itself, but I've grown numb to it. And that concerns me. Because when discrimination and hate is allowed to thrive as much as it has, to the point where it's numbing those that it's affecting the greatest, what does that say about us? What do we need to do? Many conservatives will sit and say that, oh, people like myself are just being snowflakes, they want to be special. And they don't take for a moment to consider the fact that, maybe their privilege should be set aside just for one moment. One moment enough for them to listen. Because truthfully, I think the problem is lack of listening. We always listen to the hate because it's always the loudest. But nobody strains to listen to those of us whispering equality. Because equality and the promotion of it has seemed to be reduced to a whisper. When the first thought in a person's mind, after hearing that a group has been marginalized, or discriminated against is, oh, those people, all they want is all their rights. They want to play victim. They want everything. Instead of, are you okay? What can we do to help you? I think that says everything. That is exactly a small snapshot of the collective mentality right now. And it really worries me. Thank you guys for listening to my stream of consciousness. And feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you feel that this video is easy to connect to, share it. Because I think it's time that we stopped whispering about equality and started speaking more loudly. But that can only happen when people learn to set aside their privilege long enough to listen.